This game's not won on social media. This game's not won on telephones. This game is won with shoulder pads, helmets, mouth guards, and sweat. That's how the game is won.
Welcome to episode 5 of the Bill Neese's Coaches Show. I'm your host, Chip Hare. With us is head coach Bill Neese. Indians go to Zenia this past Friday, drop a tough one to Zenia 30-8. In a game that the score really doesn't reflect how close the game was. 16-0 at halftime. We come out, a couple adjustments. We move the ball down the field pretty quickly. Caden Thomas hits a nice slant pass to Rayshon Garrett for a touchdown, and we get the 2-point conversion. Coach, with less than 8 minutes to go in the third quarter, we've got down to a touchdown, and our guys can believe, start sniffing that, hey, this thing can happen.
I think so, and I think, there's a couple plays in the first half that we really thought maybe we might have been able to get in. I know everybody says that, but we had a nice screen pass on a fourth down that we weren't able to to make anything out of, and we were down in the red zone there. And twice we were in the red zone, and we did not come up with any points. And we're always in that tough red zone. It's kind of a light red zone, meaning that it's too far away for a field goal to even think about it. So once you get down in there, you got to get going. But we really felt like there was a couple situations we could have got that taken care of. I think the biggest thing for us is the second half, as we got everything moving. We gave up two big pass plays, and all of it was about it was a good call and everything, but all of it was about missed tackling, and bad time to have missed tackles during that situation. And I think that gave them a little bit more momentum, and pushed that down and gave them that extra score.
Coach, we've talked a lot in the years past about big plays. You look at games and you break them down, they're big plays. Those are certainly ones that you can look at. I don't know there's a silver lining. You go against a team who's state ranked and undefeated currently in the league. They're driving down the league and we hold them to a field goal, and our defense really did come up big with some stops, and you wouldn't think necessarily they put 30 points on the board, but like as I said, we really put them, we held them in a fourth down conversion. We made them think a little bit.
We had them down. We held them down a couple times, and I think also we had maybe two penalties that there were. I know no penalty is really something you want, but I think we had two penalties that were very untimely, and the big ones, the 15-yarders, and I think both of those are. Both of those, happened at a tough time for us also. But, they executed well, and I thought we executed well on a lot of things. It was a back-and-forth game. Nothing much happened in the fourth quarter. We thought we were going to be able to get something going in the fourth quarter. We just couldn't get that final push through.
Yeah, team really did. I think one of the things that I noticed, I'm standing on the sideline and I'm watching your quarterback. I'm Caden Thomas, who I believe we're going to talk to later in the show, along with quite a few other guys or receivers, and they are with the coaches on this side. They're breaking down plays, and they're trying to figure out ways that they can take advantage of the defense. And quite frankly, I see the defense doing the same thing when they come off the field. But when I'm watching, they're just not doing it, Coach. They're engaged. They really are. You can just tell it matters. And if anyone says, "Hey, you look at your record and you're playing and you're into week 8, are the kids still trying?" Absolutely. They were way into it.
Yeah. Anybody that was on our sidelines can see the type of players we have, and they can see the type of coaches we have. And that is, everybody was still rolling. There was a huge amount of energy still going, at the last second of that, the last second of the game that we played. And I think that, again, that's a tribute to our players and to our coaches, that we're always trying to find an adjustment. We're always trying to find something. The players are willing to be coached. They're willing to listen.
Coaches, we now roll into week 9. We say every year when we're on this show, we're fortunate at Piqua to have two rivals, Troy and Sydney, and both games mean something. There's a trophy or some kind of a piece of equipment that is tradition, and this one is the battered helmet. Coach, this rivalry goes back to 1899. Not as many games played as Troy, but not far behind. But it's a series that really means a lot between the two communities.
Definitely, it definitely does. And again, we've talked a little bit about it before, that there are some people that their favorite rivalry is the Troy rivalry. Other people is the Piqua Sydney rivalry, and we take them both equally. We take them both, and it's not like we try harder in any particular game, but I think either both of those games, there's a little bit more focus, and a lot of times, a little bit more focus on our, from our opponent's standpoint. We'll see those people coming in a little bit more jacked up than possibly they usually are. It's going to be a little bit louder, et cetera, et cetera. So it's our job to go out there and play our best football.
Coach, certainly it's a game that the Indians look to regain the battered helmet as we fell last year at Sydney. This year, again, a team that comes back with a second-year coach. They've had some ups and they've had some downs, much like Piqua has. They're a team, though, who still believes that they have a chance to make a run here for the postseason. They had a tough loss to Vandalia last week. But what can we expect to see from Sydney offensively and defensively?
Well, in two words, a lot. You expect to see a lot. They do a lot of stuff on offense. They run a lot of formations. They run a lot of plays. They have a lot of people that are interchangeable within the offense, and then defensively also they have maybe 4 or 5 different types of blitzes. Bring people off the edge, bring people up the middle. A couple different coverage concepts that they have. So they bring quite a bit to the table.
Coach, when I look at their roster and I look at what I've seen of them statistically, in the little film that I've seen, I don't know if there are better athletes in the MVL than what Sydney has.
I think that's probably true. I think they give everybody fits as they as they play them, and I think that we've got to make sure that we're sound everywhere. I know last year there was a couple times where we got out of position, and once we make sure we're sound on everything, then I think we'll be okay.
Coach, I talked a little bit about our quarterback. We are going to feature 2 of our seniors today, and I'd like to have you talk a little bit about who those guys are, and a little bit about what they brought into Caden Thomas, our quarterback, and certainly Jace Weber, our offensive lineman. Both have been an integral part to this year's group and also to the program overall.
Yeah, well, let's start off with Caden. Caden is just having a phenomenal year. What he and our team, as a whole, because when you're the quarterback, you're in the spotlight. And last year we had some ups and downs, and I thought he handled it really well. He ended up and went from quarterback to played receiver for us, and did the best he could. He's been a quarterback, but he played the receiver part and did what he was supposed to do. This past off season, I think he got in and got rolling with his passing game, put in a huge amount of work. I don't know that he's missed a workout, from June on. When we started things, I really don't think he has. But very coachable. Listens to what the coaches are trying to do. We have in turn tried to find things that he can do that he's good at, and we're trying to take advantage of that. He's a great runner, and he's a great rollout quarterback, and he's got
dual threat. Yeah,
got some good eyes and everything. So I think he is just enjoying what I think to be an outstanding year, and a great deal of success for him.
Well, no question. You watch him and develop, and I hear you say a lot about turnovers. He doesn't turn the ball over a lot, and I don't even think, if I look at statistically, I can't think of the last turnover he's had, because the last few games he's really been solid.
Correct.
Jace Weber, got to protect the quarterback. Jace Weber is probably as good of a guy that you have that can do that. I know he has aspirations. I think I've heard him talk a little bit about wanting to move on to the next level, but his size really gives. He's a guy, I think he played defense at one time, and we switched him offense, and he's a guy that's, you talk about his FBI. His football intelligence has gotten better each year.
It has, and when he came into this year, he had been solidified as an offensive lineman. When he started off, he was more of a defensive lineman. Last year, he played exclusively offensive line, and this year, the whole summer, he was an offensive lineman. Everything's set to go, and then Ben Hillscamp was injured, and we kind of had to bring him in along with 2 or 3 of our other defensive linemen, and use them as that in that one spot where they alternate in, with our 2 big ends and stuff, and sometimes they get to play nose, which is, it's only one of them in there, and there's a couple games where they've had to both be in there at the same time, and he just does a whale of a job. He's got a motor that doesn't stop, and he is in shape. He's out there practicing, working hard all the time, and we appreciate all the effort he gives us.
Well, and one of the personalities of the team. I mean, everybody has their own personality. Caden's kind of quiet, and he leads by action a lot. And Jace, he's very vibrant. He's got a little bit of he's got some charm to his personality, and I think the guys take that too in the locker room. But I also see that on the field. They follow his lead, and he might have a little charm in the locker room. But I tell you what, when he gets on the field, he lets it roll.
He's a hard-nosed guy. He's a hard-nosed guy out there, and he gets himself going, gets that engine rolling a little bit. He gets to another level out there.
Yeah. Well, Coach, we certainly wish you all the best in the big game on Friday night at Alexander Stadium as we host Sydney for the battered helmet. Yeah.
Thank you.
We're going to come back. We're going to talk to Caden. We're going to talk to Jace. We're going to talk a little bit about what this battered helmet game means and the Battle of Sydney here on the show brought to you by Dick Lumpkin's Auto Body and Robert Comfort Systems when we return. The player portion of the show, these guys are going to give us their names and the positions that they play.
Caden Thomas, I play quarterback.
Jace Weber, I play left tackle and D tackle.
Jace, I'm going to let you hold that for a minute. So you got to protect this guy.
Yeah, I do.
So talk a little about the offensive line. It's a position that's not talked a lot about. It's underappreciated, right? For us offensive linemen who ever played, it's a little underappreciated, but it's an important job.
Yeah.
And something I'm sure Cade will talk a little about how important it is, but talk a little bit about what the blocking schemes and those things. I actually have to get into all those, but there's a lot that goes into it than just standing up and blocking someone.
Yeah, no, it is. I mean, you're trying to, stop somebody from getting to your quarterback, which is a pretty hard job. But now we came in early, got some extra work, and then we started grinding, and then things blasted off there. But we're still learning every day, though. So that's the thing.
Before we talk to Caden here, I have heard you say and cite someone that you've kind of looked up to as you play Anson Cox, who's he was a lineman and now he's playing college, and talk a little bit about the former players that you played with that's kind of and Anson might be the guy that's kind of you've looked up to and it's really kind of made a difference.
Yeah, no, I mean my sophomore year, just at practice on scout team, I would just go against probably some of the best competition because I thought Anson, Braden Soliday were like really good players.
Good players.
But no, they helped me actually become better at defense and also understand the game even more.
Sure.
And Anson went to college for Findlay, which was actually really good college, Division II. So, but yeah, no, he was really good.
Good. Well, I appreciate that. Yeah. Caden, a little bit on from your standpoint, being a quarterback, obviously you're a guy that's got to know a lot. You're the guy that's running the huddle. You're the guy that needs to know the blocking schemes. You've got to know the running schemes and all those pieces. What's it like to be the quarterback?
You just got to be a leader. You got to lead your team, and if you have good confidence, they'll have good confidence.
You were in my office today. We were, for good reasons, you were in my office today. We were talking about senior night and this coming up on Friday night. And we talked about your growth, and you can just tell, like Friday night, you're in a position where, hey, you throw a big pass, a slant pass, and to Rayshon gets us a score, and then you get the 2-point conversion. We're in the middle of the third quarter. We're against the number 5 team in the state of Ohio. We're within 8 and a touchdown, and right in the game. A lot to do with your leadership. So talk a little bit about how it feels to be in that spot.
It feels great. It's a confidence booster. You got guys out here that give you time to throw the ball and make
Way
your
to give
reads.
Props to your lineman. But it's true, yeah. You got to make sure that, but you got to have people that can protect you, and you can tell Caden, you're getting, you're comfortable back there, and you can tell our leadership's been solid. What's it like for you to be a part of Pickle football? What's it been like for you as a growing process in the last few years?
Well, I'd say my sophomore year was probably my biggest year. I got to learn from Brady, and I feel like he was a great leader, and he just boosted my confidence.
Sure. Well, he's one of the greats that's ever been. Has got records here that's thrown at Pickwa. So yeah, you learn from a good one. Mm-hmm. And this year, I think you've really come in and come into your own, and your percentages have been solid, and you get to lead us into the big game on Friday night.
Yep.
So let's talk a little bit about that. Friday night, we're into the Battle of the Battered Helmet with Sydney. We're very fortunate at Pickwa that we have two rivals. We've got, of course, the people down south, but we've got Sydney. Mm-hmm. And this is a big game for a lot of reasons, an opportunity to play for a trophy.
Yeah. I would say, I don't know, like, it's just like different. It's a different feeling. Like, you're going to a game, like, you're playing a team, but like a rivalry game is like, you have like so much
emotion.
Yeah. Like the Troy game, there was a lot of emotion. Like all these other games, like, they were just games, but they were like games we wanted to win. Mm-hmm. I feel like we could have produced better against the Troy game, but I think we doubted ourselves.
Well, you get that opportunity Friday night to change some of that and correct some of that,
yeah.
in a game that obviously has a lot of history to it, but also for you get a chance to do it here at Alexander Stadium. Yeah. Jace, for you, what's this game? I mean, we also know in the household what this is.
Yeah, no, my dad's a jacket. So actually, he said if I lose this game, I have to wear his Letterman jacket, Sydney Letterman jacket.
We won't have to worry about that.
I don't know if I want to wear that. No. It's kinda, he tells me that he's a 3-year Letterman every day, but no.
You have to check the books on that.
Yeah, I don't think he's lying about that, but no, it's a really big game. Like Caden was saying, yeah, it's way different than us playing like Tip City, Greenville. It's like we can win a trophy here.
Yeah.
And then
you've got the opportunity.
Yeah.
You got the opportunity to get something back that we lost last year, and with the opportunity to do it right here.
Yeah.
At Alexander Stadium.
Little home advantage right there.
Yeah. Guys, let's fast forward a little bit. Graduation. I know it seems like a far long way from now, but in 7 short months, you guys will be walking across the stage on Alexander Stadium in a different uniform and a cap and gown. What's post-graduation look like for you, Caden? What are you thinking about?
I've been thinking about joining the workforce. I'd want to go to college, play football, but I ain't got no offers or nothing yet. But if not, I'm just going to go in the workforce.
Something we said at workforce. We talk about this a lot with guys that do that, and we have quite a few players that have done that. Playing football in a team environment and having the opportunity to play with guys where you've got to work together. It's got to be a jump for you, because you're getting a jump because you learn how to lead a team. You talked about your leadership skills before and earlier in the show, but you also get the chance to work with different groups of people. It got to be that belief for you. That's got to be an advantage that you feel like you can walk into a workforce and be successful.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Jace, what's your thoughts?
Well, I'm thinking about going to play football in college, but it's undecided. I have a couple visits coming up.
Okay.
Yeah, but if not, that doesn't work. I'll probably go into workforce or join the military.
Well, we certainly wish both of you all the best, and certainly as we circle back to Friday night, a big one here for the Battle of the Battered Helmet with Sydney. All the best to you guys. You can catch that right here, the Batter to the Bell helmet, right here on the Indian Nation station. You can catch it right after the game. It'll be on the YouTube link, and certainly you can catch it live on WPTW. Well, for Jason, for Caden, I'm your host, Chip Hare. We'll see you next week at the Bill Nieces Coaches Show. This show brought to you again by Dick Lumpkins Auto Body and Robert Comfort Systems. We'll see you next week.